How have we allowed Packers to get into this position? I don't know. As an NFL, we have got this in position. Right. So in terms of total value, the number one is obviously Mahomes. The number two is now Trevor Lawrence, and now Jordan Love is sitting at number 10 and Tua at 11. An interesting question I've just thought of as we started talking: have these three quarterbacks been overpaid in a way to put pressure on the rest of the NFL, because there is quarterbacks that have got contracts coming up? There is quarterbacks who will get contracts coming up in the future. Is this are teams now playing a bit of quarterback chicken with going, well, you're either going to have to pay them all this money because we're going to move the needle and move the needle and move the needle and move the needle, or you go for a rookie and maybe you get a bust? What do you both think of that? I don't mind who starts on this, but it's just an interesting question I was thinking about.
I mean, this is similar to the wide receiver market, isn't it? This is basically it's the same sort of thing where it's almost like, in a way, they all just want to get paid. Like they don't mind. They're not really that bothered. I think it's kind of made into a bigger thing. Oh, I'm the highest paid guy. I don't think they really care that much. I think really they just all want to get paid a lot of money. That's what it's about. So
what
obviously,
about from the team's point of view, though? From the team's point of view, not the player so much.
I don't know. I suppose it's just one of them things where it's like it's just always been like this, though, hasn't it? Where it's like there's always the next one up. The next one up always gets more, and that's how it works. It is strange when you think about it in a way, because just because you are, your contract is up, doesn't necessarily mean you're the best in the league. So therefore, why do you get paid the most? In that position, it is a slightly
it's the classic Kirk Cousins conundrum, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It is a really weird sort of logic, but it's like, but I do feel like to a certain degree, all the agents and all the players are kind of in it, in it together, and the idea is to just sort of like keep boosting it up. And I think when it comes to the team, I think I mean, can you imagine being the GM who gives away a franchise quarterback? That's the problem. I think there is genuinely just an element of, I can't do this, because if I give this up and then I draft someone and it's a bust. I mean, because, we know, don't we? Not every quarterback is amazing. This year, we've got some decent quarterbacks come out, but next year, they're not fantastic by the looks of it. I mean, look at Trevor Lawrence's year. The rest of them, they none of them did anything really, and so, but they were portrayed as though they were going to be the next big thing. Your Zach Wilsons and your Trey Lances and stuff like that. So that's what the conundrum you're dealing with. So I think from the team's point of view, I think they're probably scared to not do it. They almost feel like they have to do it, and then the players and the agents just probably just racket the price up all the time.
What do you think, Johnny, about that? Because I honestly think this is a bit of a chicken thing. I think this is like we're going to keep pushing up because Dak's contract's going to come back around, and different players' contracts are going to come up soon. And, you've got people like Brock Purdy and players like that are going to have their contracts come up, and they go, well, if this is the market now, Brock Purdy's going to want to be in that market. Now, I won't put Brock Purdy. I don't think Brock Purdy is better than any of these three myself. I think he's a very good quarterback, but I don't think he's better than any of these three. But he's going to get paid that high amount when his contract comes around, right?
Yeah, possibly. Yeah, I do think it is. Yeah, a bit of a chicken thing. We've seen, just looking at the top 10, 15 quarterbacks or best paid quarterbacks. You got Daniel Jones at number 14. Deshaun Watson still the 10th highest paid player in the NFL. Those were decisions that.
Are you trying to say that NFL GMs don't know what they're doing?
No, not at all. But it's precisely that thing where they're scared that if they don't pay that player, then they aren't going to have a quarterback or a decent player in the most important position. I can't believe Daniel Jones is making over $40 million dollars a year. That's incredible. But it totally is. It's which players would be seeing next year get this sort of money? Obviously, free agency. Dak is someone who if he puts a decent season, he could well be, one of, if not the best paid quarterbacks in the league next free agency. Sam Darnold could do a Baker Mayfield, perhaps. He's obviously got paid, a decent amount for a player who was on about 4 teams just a year ago. Yeah, it's all about, if there is a glimpse of,
I know you're a Jets fan, Bisbee, but seriously, Sam Darnold's not going to do anything.
He's the listed starter now for Minnesota. It's a problem, but it's obviously it's the fear of missing out. I think if those rosters, particularly the Dolphins in this sort of scenario where they have not many holes except from the quarterback position, and if you have an average quarterback who, I don't know, is you're just gonna pay him. You'd rather pay him that much than have him hold out and potentially not play.
Just your point on there, actually. Admittedly, this article has been, because I just thought that was interesting. You said about what about next year, and this article was published in February. I admit, so it is an article. It's just the first one I've got on. It says who are the best NFL free agents at quarterback. So we've got Dak, Goff, Love, Lawrence, Tagovailoa, Fields, Jones, Wilson, Lance. Well, Prescott's the only one in there. Goff's got a new deal. Love's got a new deal. Lawrence got a new deal. Tagovailoa. Fields has gone from the Bears, and we've given him a year deal at least. Jones has gone to the Jags and has got a year deal, I can imagine. Wilson and Lance, I don't think I cannot remember what's happened to Wilson and Lance. I don't know where they're at. Or didn't Wilson go to the 49ers actually?
No, he's at the Broncos.
Broncos, that's the one. So he's got a year deal there.
Ridiculous. I think his NFL career is over. But
so really, next year we probably won't see him. Other than that will be the big talking point once again.
But that is kind of the point, isn't it, with the whole sort of like Tua thing. So like when you look at that list and you think, okay, well, most of them have already been signed up. Dak hasn't been signed up, so that's obviously someone who is a very, he's a very, very good quarterback. You can't say he's not a good quarterback. He's a very good quarterback. But what else is on that list that you think is going to be better than Tua? And then if you're not doing that, you're looking at the draft. But the problem is that your team's actually reasonably good. So you're going to be sort of mid to, say like between 16 and 24 in the draft. So who are you getting? And this is the problem. This is where I think things like the whole Tua thing, and when it's difficult to just throw the quarterback away when you feel like you've got one that's like semi-decent.